If your department trains to NFPA 1403 for live fire, or 1407 for RIT, or 1451 for driving the rig, those standards do not exist as separate documents anymore. 7 of them just became one book. 175 pages, 54 chapters, and 2 of those chapters cover things that no NFPA training standard covered before. Here's the map. Here is what got merged. 1402, Training Facilities and Props. 1403, Live Fire Training. 1404, Respiratory Protection Training. 1407, Rapid Intervention Crew Training. 1408, Thermal Imagers. 1410, Training for Emergency Scene Operations. And 1451, Vehicle Operations Training. And that mapping is not me interpreting. Section 1.3 spells it out. It tells you which chapters constitute each former standard. So if your SOPs say you comply with 1403, you now point at chapters 1 through 3 plus 16 through 21. That is the single most useful paragraph in the document for anyone who has to update paperwork. Now, the genuinely new part. Chapter 53 is Technical Rescue Training. Chapter 54 is Hazardous Materials Training. And here's how you can tell they are new rather than merged. Every other chapter in the book is tagged with the standard it came from. Those 2 are not tagged because there is nothing to tag them to. The scope section confirms it a second way. It lists 9 things the standard addresses. The first 7 each end with former and a number. Items 8 and 9, Technical Rescue and Hazmat Training, have no former at all. The document is telling you twice. And what those 2 chapters do is provide a framework for running those training evolutions in a way that manages the risk while still hitting the training objectives, which is the same job Chapter 16 does for live fire. Technical Rescue and Hazmat Training now get the same treatment burn building training has had for years. Now, 12 of the 54 chapters are training facility requirements, and it would be easy to file those under the training center's paperwork and skip them. Do not, because 5 of those 12 describe the burn environment itself. Live fire training structures, gas-fueled systems, interior and exterior, mobile and transportable props, and the combustible and flammable liquids used in them. That is not administration. That is the specification for the box somebody's going to light while you are standing inside it. Firefighters have died in live fire training. Knowing what a burn prop is required to have is exactly how you notice when the one in front of you does not have it. The honest split is not firefighter chapters versus training officer chapters. It is that some of this book tells you how you should be trained, and some of it tells you what you should be trained in. Both of those are yours. And then the chapters that are unmistakably about the job. Live fire evolutions, chapter 16 through 21, govern the burn building you stand in. RIT training, 26 through 30, includes the required performance for a rapid intervention crew. Emergency scene operations, 36 through 45, is the timed evolution standard. Handlines, master streams, standpipe support, truck company operations, and vehicle operations, 46 through 52, is how your department is supposed to train you to drive the rig. Look at chapters 36 through 45 for a second, because that is the one people underestimate. Those are required performance chapters. Objective, measurable evolutions for fire suppression and rescue using the personnel and equipment you actually have. That is the standard behind the drills, where somebody stands there with a stopwatch. One more change worth knowing, and I want to be clear this one I am taking from Dan Shaw's write-up, rather than having read it in the definitions myself. He is a retired chief of operations from Fairfax County and has sat on the 1400 committee since 2008. He reports that fire behavior has been replaced throughout with fire dynamics. The reasoning being that fire does not behave, it responds to a changing set of influences. That sounds like a word game until you notice the same shift running through 1700, which built its whole strategy chapter on fire dynamics. 2 standards moving the same direction is not a coincidence. It is the research finally setting the vocabulary. So what do you actually do with this? 3 things, and none of them take long. If you are a training officer, map your existing SOPs onto the new chapter ranges. Section 1.3 does that work for you. If you run live fire, Chapters 16 through 21 are your document now, not 1403. And if your department does technical rescue or hazmat training, there is now a written framework where there was not one before. Go read chapters 53 and 54. And if you are none of those, if you are just the firefighter who gets put through the training, the useful question is which chapters your department trains you to. Because somebody made that decision, and the standard now makes it a specific, citable answer instead of a vague one. Locked in. 7 standards: 1402, 03, 04, 07, 08, 1410, and 1451 are now chapter ranges inside NFPA 1400. Section 1.3 maps every one of them for you. Chapters 53 and 54 are new, technical rescue, and hazmat training. 12 chapters are facility requirements aimed at your training center. And the parts that are genuinely about you are live fire, RIT, the timed evolutions, and vehicle operations. Read it yourself. NFPA gives you free read-only access, and the section numbers are in the description. If there's a piece of this you want gone through properly, the live fire chapters would be my pick. Say so in the comments, and that is the next one. This is what's new in the fire service. Bring the irons.